All the hype is gone, it's over, I'm selling everything. I guess you were right, none of it was sustainable. That's not actually what I said, I just said a lot of it was, most of it, but there's also gems hidden in there. Well, it's all the same to me, what's the difference?
Does this happen to you? Do you struggle to tell the difference between absolute garbage and diamonds in the rough? Do you constantly flip-flop, getting excited about a project and how it's going to take over the world, only to soon after, usually after losing a lot of money, realize it was just a trashy Ponzi? Well, here's some great news. With just one Swambat pill a day, all your problems could be solved. Wait, no, it's not a daily pill, it's a video.
Okay, sure, whatever. You wrote the script, dudes. I'm not even here.
Then keep watching for the solution to all of your problems. Not in the form of a pill. It's a video about how to build conviction.
Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Tenner, aka Swambat, and in these videos I use my 15 years of experience as a successful entrepreneur working with hundreds of tech startup founders to bring some clarity to Web3 and NFTs. Conviction is one of the most important and most easily misunderstood terms in investment. And that problem is amplified in the NFT space, where it's so easy for projects and influencers to manipulate potential investors by misusing terms like this, which sound meaningful and relevant. Almost every investment, good or bad, will have volatility. Nothing ever goes straight up. If your goal is to make money from pure trading without any consideration to the long term, then that's where you'll be making your money from, the volatility. For that, you don't need conviction, just a good intuition of where the wind is blowing, top-notch technical analysis to improve your odds,
and total mastery of your emotions.
But if, like me, you're trying to make long-term investments, then volatility is a distraction. Yeah, I mean, that's nice, but it's pretty hard to ignore a 50% drop in your assets. Definitely, I'm not saying it's easy. But if you actually have conviction, then it's doable. If you don't, then I think it's practically impossible. Right. Can I mint this conviction anywhere? Is it on OpenSea? It might help to start by defining what conviction is. People trying to manipulate you will suggest that conviction is a rock-steady, unwavering, unchanging belief in a project. To infinity or to zero. Like WAGMI, this is another very helpful belief to propagate if you want other people to hold their bags to zero, thus giving you more time to dump your own bags at your own leisure. But it's not a useful definition. Conviction is not delusion. In an investment context, conviction is a rational, reasoned out, explainable belief, tested in discussion with skeptical others, that an asset is going to be worth more in the future than what it is worth now. Let's break this down a bit. Conviction should be rational, not just a gut feeling. Gut feelings play a part in NFTs, of course, but they tend to be more towards the degen and gambling side of things. Conviction should be reasoned out and explainable. There should be a reasoning that I'm following which I'm able to explain to other people. The reasoning may be faulty, others may disagree with it, but before I claim to have conviction in something, I should be able to explain myself clearly to someone who is not invested in the same thing and is not me. Conviction is just a belief. Let's not get fooled into thinking that conviction is certainty. Sometimes I'll have conviction in something and be dead wrong. So I should always structure things so that if I turn out to be wrong, I'm okay. Conviction should be tested in conversation with others who are not me and who are not also bought into the same assets. If I can't argue for my conviction without sounding like an idiot to myself, or these others demonstrating to me that I'm obviously wrong, I should probably reconsider whether I have conviction or one of the less helpful substitutes. Conviction should explain why the project will be worth more later. It's not enough to say, I think this project is great. That's not a good basis for conviction. The project costs X. If I'm going to carry on holding it as an investment, I should believe that the project will be worth Y later, where Y is worth more than X. My rationale should include some kind of sense of where Y might be, if only so that when that is reached, I can start taking profits. When I have conviction in a project, I can hold it and be peaceful about it. If I don't check my portfolio for 6 months, I'm pretty sure the project will still be around and possibly worth more than what I originally invested. This is the kind of project I want to be in, and the kind that you may want to invest in too, unless you're playing in the degen or trader skill tree. There's a few things that conviction is not. Conviction is not blindness to the flaws of a project. I can have conviction in a project and still believe it's not perfect and not executing everything in the best way possible. I can have conviction in a project and be a vocal critic of what it gets wrong. Conviction is also not immutable. It's not blindness to the changes in the project. I can have conviction in a project and then something changes about it, or something I thought would happen fails to happen, and my conviction then changes with it. Conviction is not fanaticism. I can have conviction in a project without being a vocal fanboy of it everywhere I go. It's just a belief that a project will go up, after all, not a religious statement. And finally, conviction is not a reason never to sell and to diamond hands forever. Quite the opposite. Nothing can grow forever, and conviction includes a target price. If the project reaches that target price, selling doesn't mean I've lost my conviction. If anything, my conviction was validated. Well done, Daniel. Right, well, I mean, that sounds pretty good and all, but you still haven't told me how to get that. It's hard to build something where you don't even understand what it is. At least now you know what you're trying to get to. Now, building conviction starts with who you are as a person. There's no magic bullets to get to it, because it's based on your own personal strengths and weaknesses. Justified conviction comes from understanding an area better than others. For example, someone who is an expert at renovating houses can go to a housing auction and have a fair amount of conviction that they'll be able to buy a certain house for, say, 100k, do 20k of work on it, and resell it for 150k. That conviction is based on their expertise, is rational, they can explain it to others, etc. You should aim for your conviction to be like that too. But I'm not actually that good at anything, really. Everyone is good at some stuff. If you take the time to know yourself and maybe talk to close friends to see what they think you're good at, you can build that conviction in your own skills. And once you have that, it will become clearer what kind of investments make sense to you. It wouldn't make sense for our house renovating expert to suddenly start investing in Web3 games unless they were deep into that too. Similarly, if you know nothing about, say, global brand building, why are you investing in someone who says they're building a global brand? If you don't understand the work that goes into doing that, you can't evaluate whether they're actually doing a good job, and then it becomes very hard to build that conviction. Once you know what you're good at, then you can leverage that into an investment strategy. Good strategy is all about concentrating limited resources on where they will have the most impact. When it comes to investment, that means concentrating your attention and your cash on assets where you have enough expertise to be able to build that sort of conviction. So you can easily ride the ups and downs of volatility until the project gets to where you think it will get. Of course, if a project isn't actually building anything worthwhile, it might be quite difficult to build that conviction. And that's a good thing. If a project is empty, without a product or potential customers, then you should not have conviction in it, because its long-term value is likely close to zero. With all the smoke and mirrors in NFTs, it can be hard to identify those empty projects though. So I made a video about that very topic, which you can find right here. GM and good luck.